Hi guys, welcome to Learning Electronics Repair, and guess what, it's that time of the week again, yeah? So I have this computer. This is quite large. You can see it there, quite large. Very messy. I mean, this is really dirty, yeah? 5 1/4 inch floppy in there. It has a physical on-off switch. This says power, turbo and HDD, so this is an AT machine. Yeah, key lock on there as well. There's no optical drive. This is a 3 1/2 inch floppy, so it could be quite an old machine, to be honest. Has some Dymo tape. You don't see that much these days. Okay, Step Informatica. Loads of, well, spaces here for ports, and then AT keyboard, but there's no graphics card. I mean, it says game, there's nothing in there. And we have printer. That says mono. That thing there, yeah. That says mono. Is that the monitor? But like before VGA, like EGA or CGA or something. Common. That's a comms port and another. That's a male one like that, and that's a female one. So I'm not sure, because printer and mono are on the same card, and that's also looks like an identical one, and then printer and com one. So that's what we have, and then a LAN, yeah, 10 megabits. So that's what we've got here. The question is, what's inside it? Yeah, what condition is it in? Whatever's inside it, given the condition of the case, and is it worth anything? Yeah, is it interesting? So that's the other side of it. It's just so you get a full look at this thing. Okay, I'm not sure what this actually is. It just feels powdery. This is probably just going to make a real mess, so this is just water. Okay, a bit of water. Well, yeah. So it's just ingrained dirt, I think. I'm not sure that would ever come clean. But otherwise, the case actually is in quite good condition. Yeah, all this detritus, I think that's the best word for it. Well, not the best word, but it's a polite word. Okay, so let's see if we can get into this. 486. Well, we're going to find out, yeah. So, yeah, how do we get into it? Well, this comes off by the looks of it. Yeah. And then, yeah, we have some screws in here, so we should be able to take the side panels off. Okay, guys, get your guesses in. What do you think it is? I'm going to say a 486. Yeah. Timestamp. What do you think, guys? It's all part of the fun. Let's open it up. I still have this ongoing cold, by the way, so if my voice is a bit off, well, that's why. I thought I got rid of it, and now it seems to come back on me. Well, I've got another one. Too many tourists coming over from Northern Europe, full of disease, and then they spread it to us islanders who don't have so much of a resistance to it, yeah. One thing they say when you've lived here a while, don't leave the island, you'll become ill. Okay, right, what have we got here? Well, I've never seen one, or at least maybe my memory's not good enough, but this is Visa Local Bors and PCI, and I don't recall ever seeing a machine that has both. It does have a hard drive in it, somewhere here, yeah. This is a hard drive. So I'm going to take the various bits out of this. We can clean off all the dust. Let's have a look to see what we've got. And let's see if it actually works. Well, we have the largest AT power supply I've ever seen. I mean, physically largest, yeah. 5 volts at 20 amps, 12 volts at 8 amps. So this is rated 220 watts, and they probably mean it, to be quite honest. Okay, so we have that. I'm not sure what use that is, apart from in this case, because it wouldn't fit in any standard AT cabinet. Yeah, but that's what we have. Then we have a 3.5-inch floppy. I'm sure this probably would clean up on this 3.5 to 5.25 inch adapter. So that's like a connector for normally a 5.25 inch floppy. Yeah, and the Molex connector. So we have that. Then we do have a 5.25 inch floppy drive. Okay, Copal or Couple. This is quite dusty. I mean, this thing contained more dust than his dark materials, yeah? So it's everywhere. I've got the worst of it off. I mean, some of it's on my clothes now. But this is either jammed or you have to put the disc in first before you can close it. I can't just quite remember, actually. I think there's some sort of like trigger or something mechanical that you have to put the disc in first. I don't have any 5.25 inch floppy discs anyway, but we do have the drive. Unfortunately, I can't test that at all. Here's a multi-IO card. So this was connecting to the floppy, basically. I mean, you can switch on and off the various features on this. So this was connecting to the floppy, serial and parallel port on it. This is the graphics card, so it does have a graphics card. It's a, well, it says, interesting, that it is a V3 monochrome graphic printer card. Okay. Monochrome graphic printer card. So that's the graphics card. We can look this code up and perhaps find a little bit about that. I mean, I'm not sure whether this would be any interest to anybody, but we do have one. Normally ISA cards are worth something. Okay, a lot of RAM or space RAM that isn't fitted, but I think this is RAM. Yeah, it looks like RAM. So probably a graphics card of some sort, yeah? A monochrome graphic printer card. Oh, maybe it's a monochrome. Okay, yeah, that sort of makes sense. There's two things. It's a monochrome graphics and it's a printer port, yeah? Centronics. Another one. ISA card again, SIS. This looks like a printer port and a serial port, and there's another, yeah, games port, maybe, attached to that. This machine had several parallel ports on it. I'm wondering whether it's actually was controlling something, maybe. That's what we have. Maybe that is a model number on that ROM, so maybe we can find something out about this thing, okay? And the chip numbers, maybe that'll tell us a little bit about what it actually does as well. Redstone, okay? So we have that. And this is the 10 megabit LAN card. Obviously a space on here for the 100 megabit, but it's not fitted. These ISA LAN cards with an EEPROM socket, I believe, are quite desirable by retro collectors because you can program the EEPROM with something that will boot the PC. You can boot from the EEPROM. I'm sure you guys know a lot more about that. I don't know whether you can boot DOS from the EEPROM, but you can boot from the EEPROM anyway, okay? So that's that one. Hard drive was with it. Quantum Trailblazer, 850 meg. Anything less than 1 gigabyte is worth money because of these old machines. People would like to run them from the old hard drives. These make a glorious sound if they're working, but so far I've only ever found one of this sort of capacity that actually works. Okay, but you never know. You could make it 2. And the motherboard. I have to say, in fact I already said, yeah, that I've not seen a motherboard before that has both VESA Local Bus and PCI. Maybe I have, it was just a long time ago. So that's what we have. I mean, normally VESA Local Bus would have like about 7 or 8 ISA slots and no PCI. So you guys, I know some of you are very expert on this and you just like to see what I've found. Maybe you would know a bit more about this motherboard and whether it is particularly rare. It's clearly like a crossover board between the two technologies, and normally speaking, crossover boards are worth money on the collector's market, but comments, yeah. No manufacturer's mark as far as I can see. We can see this chipset. AMI BIOS 1993. Gives an idea of the age of this one. Lots of jumper settings, which we'll just hope are correct. For DX4SL or for P24D, whatever that is. Different sort of processor. I don't know what's in this, but let's try it. Okay. So that's what we've got. I'm itching to plug this in and see if it works. I've got a PCI graphics card, so I'll stick that in it. I've got the ISA and the PCI analyzer cards, but I don't know if the ISA one actually works. I think I plugged it in the wrong way round once, and I can't recall if it ever worked after that, but maybe we'll find out. Cache memory, obviously, down here, yeah. Okay, so let's give it a go. I've attached the analyzer. I have a PCI graphics card in at the moment. I'll just connect it to the monitor. You can see the monitor also over to that side of the screen. Okay, so let's see what this thing actually does. So we'll power it on. Well, we have a code, but I'm not sure if this will actually read properly on here anyway. I don't have a speaker attached. I'll see if I can find out where the speaker actually goes. But from what I can see, it's not booting up. There's nothing on the screen, okay? Put this in another slot. In fact, actually, I'll take the graphics card out for a moment, okay? Let's try again. Yeah, now it's booting. You can see that. It's booting, okay? Put the graphics card back in. It might be this card is too modern, basically, for this. I've got some other older PCI graphics cards. Let's try it. Well, it doesn't seem to want to boot at all with that graphics card in. Let me find an older one. Okay, so this is a ATI 3D Rage 2. Let's see if it'll work on it or not. Okay. Well, it boots with that one in. And it gives a picture with this one in. So it didn't like that more recent card. I say it gives a picture. The blue light's on the monitor. Yeah, and there we have a picture. So this is working. I'll get a keyboard and let's see if we can get into the BIOS. Okay. Power on again. We're saying F1 for the BIOS. Let's have a look. Blue light on. F1, yeah. Keyboard's working. Now, I'm just going to load the BIOS defaults, to be quite honest. I think it was tab to get, yeah, tab gets to the boxes. Let's go to optimal. Why not? Yes. And then save. To be honest, guys, I really need to put a new battery in, otherwise it's just going to lose these settings anyway. Escape, save changes, and exit. Okay. saying 4 meg of RAM, basically, or near to that, 3712. Oh, bit of a strange amount actually of RAM. Press F1 to continue. Oh, that'll be like, I think the 640k, yeah, 640k of the base memory, then 3072. So it is what it is, yeah. Right, back cache on. And it's now looking for a hard drive. I'm going to connect the hard drive that came with this and see whether it works, and if it does work, if it makes glorious sounds while it's doing it. Well guys, as I was saying, to find drives of this vintage that actually work is very unusual in my experience. It's spinning. Ooh. I'm just making noises. Oh, it sounds reasonable. F1. Think. So 486DX4, we know that. S, whatever that is. Just leave it a moment. I'm not sure it found the hard drive. I'll go into the BIOS and we can have a look. Yeah, okay, so let's go into the BIOS. F1. No, it wasn't fast enough. Let me go again. Got it. So, Auto IDE. It's found it. Okay. Well, it found it. Got it now. F1 to resume. It's just complaining, but there's no floppy disk on there. Anyway, that's why. It's just it's set in the BIOS that it's got one. Oh, starting MS-DOS. It's looking for various peripherals and things now. Okay. We have a working DOS machine. That's the first one I've found, to be honest. Facturas, that's like invoices. Oops, forgot to put a space in. So there's a lot of invoices from 1997. Okay. Anything else on this machine? Alicia? Again, I forgot the space. Or the keyboard didn't work very well. Contacts. Accounts, images, ct.exe, a.bat. Borrow.bat. Let's try something. Do you have to put the dot back? It's a long time since I used DOS. Ejection of the program. Execution of the program. Copy of security. Recuperation of the key. End. Okay, so this machine works, guys. I have to say, in my experience, it's not uncommon to find a 486 at the car boot sale that actually works. Yeah, Main problem seems to be CMOS batteries that have effectively leaked, but this is like the CR2032, which don't do that, to be quite honest. I will remove this one, it was clearly flat. Okay. It's a 486 DX4S. I think this is a DX4 120. I've seen that before. Let's see if we just get this heatsink off. It must be quite easy to do that. Oh, okay, it's actually a DX4 100. That's quite a nice processor. I think the DX4 120 was the fastest, unless we talk about Pentium overdrives, of course. What's more unusual, I think, is A, to find a hard drive of this vintage that actually works, okay? And 2, to find a board that's got both VESA local bus and PCI. Yeah, so let's have to see if we can assign any sort of value to this stuff. Okay, so starting with this stuff we can easily identify. The Quantum Trailblazer 850 megabyte, this one. Well, there's one for parts, 23. New, old stock, I guess. A lot of money, 105. But then there's one there for sale at 25. So some people think these are like £25 and some people think these are like £200. But have they sold any? Well, nothing comes up. I'll just take the 850 megabytes off and just leave Quantum Trailblazer. Do we have anything? Oh, well, there's a very similar one that actually sold for £25. So that is probably much more like it. Okay. Similar capacity drives. So, yeah, I think we can say £25 for that. The LAN card doesn't seem to have any model number on. So I'll just search for ISO LAN card and see if it finds anything similar to that. ISO LAN card should help maybe. Oh, okay, ISO LAN card. So these ones are also 100 megabit, mine's just a 10 megabit one. These are in the sold listings, by the way. It seems like all the sold ones also have the 100 megabits, so whether the one without that is of any particular value, well, there's one there, 1154. So, yeah, maybe £10. So that's 35. This I/O card, parallel serial, says 286 Courier on, so that might be a model. IO2 card, and this number here. So I'll search for both and see if that shows anything up. Okay. I'll stick in the sold listings. See if that comes up with anything. No. Oh. Well, that's close, I guess. £60 in the sold listings. Let me see if that other number finds anything. PTI-209. No, so the best indication it could be worth about £60. Okay. So that's 95, I guess. Then I have this thing, this P2 in Robin, I guess, or P11-143C V3 monochrome graphic. Let's see if any of those numbers come up with something. Monochrome graphic print, does that get anything? Well, there's a sort of, oh yeah, mine's a bit more like this one. In fact, that is it. P2143, and one sold for £24 in January. So that takes us, well, if we can assume the prices were right, from 95, about £120. The ISA Multi-IO doesn't have a model number, so I'm just going to search generically for ISA Multi-IO, see what we find. That's a different make, 38. Oh, HMC, mine says HMC on it. In fact, that looks exactly like mine. So, 38. So where were we up to? 120, up to about 160 now. And then there's this motherboard. I wish this had some model number on or something in the corner. Just says, no, V2.1. Doesn't say anything else. Absolutely nothing marked on the back of it at all. This is just, yeah, it's not corrosion, it's just a bit of dust up there, okay. It's UMC. Let me do a kind of a generic-ish search again, see if I can find anything. So let's go for something like 486 VLB. So these are your Visa Local Buzz motherboards. And that's the sort I normally see. Look, with lots of ISA and the VLB. That one is much more like mine. So there we go. Different make, but that sold for £100. Just about a week ago. That one has not got the PCI. Yeah, UMC motherboard. This must be basically the same as mine. In fact, just looking at the layout, that's exactly the same as mine. Okay, so according to this is a M915i version 2.1. I can certainly see the V2.1. And the board looks exactly like this. So that's sold for £100. Oh, and the DX4100. Worth, well, that's a Cyrix one. That's an AMD one, AMD. Let's add Intel to the search. Yeah, one sold for £30 there. Okay. Another one sold for 20. So I make that about 260, something like that, pounds as he's worth. That's pretty good for €20. I'd like to do something with that old AT case, but it's big, bulky and very dirty, so I'll probably unfortunately have to dispose of that. Bit of a shame, but it's just too heavy to ship from here anyway. I don't really have the space for it. Okay, so a nice find, but I think we have time to look at one more on this video. So this one is a lot newer, yeah. Hewlett-Packard Pavilion. Has a Windows 98 sticker on it, so yeah, some years newer, but not particularly modern. I wouldn't normally bother with this particular type of machine. Anything with these big brands like Hewlett-Packard and Dell, Compaq and so on, are not really worth much, generally speaking, on the retro scene. But because this is so old, I thought it was well worth a look. Beige DVD. In fact, we have two. We have a DVD-ROM and a DVD writer. Okay. This is actually quite a small case. Has just one USB on, graphics card in there, sound card. I would expect 98 Pentium 2. Let's have a look, shall we? Again, get your guesses in, make a note of the time, put it on your post. I was posting at such a time in the video, yeah. Do you think this is a Pentium 2 like I think it is? Well, let's have a look. Yeah, just a bit of persuasion. Right, what have we got? Okay, so that's what we have. A motherboard with ISA and PCI. AGP, there's a graphics card down in there with a heatsink and fan, okay. could be interesting. And right down the bottom, a lot of cables in the way, but I can see just down there either an AMD or an Intel, like a Pentium 3. If this is AMD, that's fairly collectible motherboard. In fact, it's a QDI motherboard, Advanced 9. You know, I think this might be a Pentium 3 with ISA. Well, that was not the easiest thing in the world to take apart. I managed to get this off, took a little bit of effort. So that's the IO shield. 40GB hard drive. Nothing as rare as a previous one. The beige optical drives. These are worth generally about £15 each. Beige DVD-ROMs are more valuable than black, and then vice versa with CD-ROMs, because it's whatever was the most popular or least popular at the time when they were out. Okay. Usually on those about 50-50 if they're working or not, so I'll just count that as being one without testing them. This is the motherboard. So as I said, QDI Advanced 9. I've had some QDI Advanced before. I don't know if I've actually had this particular model. This is an Intel, without doubt. I can probably see under the edge of it a little bit. Well, we can easily get it off. Yeah, Pentium 3. 866, this one. 3 strips of RAM, 128 meg each. Okay. Nice and clean. ISA and AGP plus PCI. So quite a nice motherboard, that one. I do think that these QDI boards are worth like £60 to £80 or something like that. We can look at this one. So this is the order model number P6V693A-A9. Okay. A genuine Sound Blaster CT4170 ISA. So that'll be worth more than the PCI ones for sure. Little PCI LAN cards, probably not really worth anything particularly. And this graphics card, I don't actually think it is anything. I'm usually a little bit interested when I see them with the heatsink and fan on, but not sure where that came from. I'm sure I'll figure it out. So M6432 M64 was right, M6432M. I think that's a fairly generic thing, but again, we can have a look. Oh, the graphics card has another model number if you like as well. So A4-M64, then Vanta TV-E1. And that's it. Yeah, nothing else. So let's see if we can get any life out of this one. Power on. Start. It's going to boot. Yeah, it's going to boot, this one is. Again. Okay. Blue lights on the monitor. Yeah. Said NVIDIA. So it's an NVIDIA graphics card. QDI badge. No hard drive attached at the moment, of course. So let's get a keyboard, get a hard drive cable. Let's see. Okay. Start. I couldn't quite see where this fan's supposed to attach. Maybe it went onto a wire on the original power supply. So I've just got a fan we can put there kind of in front of the graphics card a little bit, blow a bit of air down there. That should be fine for as much as we're doing with it while we're testing. Okay, press F1. Windows XP. I'll just balance this over here a little bit. Oh, I think it crashed actually. Yeah, it looks like the operating system's screwed up on this hard drive most likely. But I think the board is almost certainly good. Okay, let's just put this here again. F1. Start Windows normally. So yeah, it's password on that one. Oh, but no password on this one. Okay. So, oh, this is somewhere in Gran Canaria. Trying to think where that actually is. I'm sure it's somewhere local. I'm just looking now over this side. Okay, road. Well, there you go. I think it's somewhere. Looks like Gran Canaria to some extent. Okay, yeah, these cliffs look right. So this one appears to work. Okay, so let's have a look to see if we have any money here. This was some sort of GeForce, but I've searched for that. I'm sure I'll find it, so let's have a look. Well, this is the A4-M64 Vanta TV card. You can buy one for £25 or £154, whichever you prefer. Okay. It's rare, so it says here. That's a picture of it. Doesn't particularly give any more information of what it is. It said it was some sort of NVIDIA card. Oh, IFPUDEUV TNT2. So that's what it actually is, according to that. Yeah, they're not valuable things at all. Okay. The sound card, well, this should be easy to find. Sound Blaster CT4170. ISA, I think maybe about £30. Let's have a look. Yeah, look, see there. £30. Yeah. Or that's for parts only. So Sound Blaster Vibra 16, £25. That's what it is, okay. So kind of what I thought it was probably worth, but seems to be one cheaper there, so that's it. And then the motherboard, so QDI Advance 9. Let's have a look. I think this is worth about £80, something like that. 149, it's that one. Oh, that's with the processor. Mine does have the processor slightly slower. Another one there with a processor a bit slower than mine, 50, 60. I think this is more than what I sort of expected on these. Okay, let's have a look into the sold listings. Well, one sold there for £20. How about that? So that went really cheap, and another one went for £20. So that went really cheap. But there's only paid £87 for this one. So if somebody would like to go and figure that one out, you're welcome. I mean, they all say, oh, that one was parts only, but this one says pre-owned. That one says pre-owned. Okay. So I think we can say it's either worth £87 because one sold for that, or it's worth £20 because one sold for that. Okay, this one had the IO shield and so does mine. Well, a bit of a mixed bag there. I thought the QDI motherboard might be worth a bit more. Maybe somebody just got lucky. Comments? The graphics card and sound card, no great value to them. Okay, so we've still got somewhere between like £40 and £100 worth here, you know, when you add it up, depending on which numbers you want to take. Still more than I paid for the machine, at least twice as much as what I paid for it, so hey, can't complain at that one. That 486, yeah, that was definitely worth some money, that stuff. Okay, hope you enjoyed that then. Long enough for a car booty, but I'll tell you what, we'll be back with some more of it on Lady Electronics Repair. Ciao for now, guys.